Um, it starts with the judge that's been on my family court case starting July of 2023. And when I first came in front of her for the custody case, something didn't feel right. I knew something was off. I couldn't pinpoint it, but immediately after that first hearing in the parentage case, I started reaching out to people. I started researching her, and I started feeling deeply alarmed. Point blank, the first hearing, she was yelling at me. Without a domestic violence restraining order trial, she was claiming that my claims of domestic violence weren't significant, weren't real, and she was alluding that they were that I was frauding the court, and that I just wanted the abuser's money. And then she also boldly said that it is a tragedy that the baby, my daughter Makita, who was 2 months old at the time, a newborn, being breastfed by moi 24/7, she stated it's a tragedy that the baby is on the West Coast and the father is on the East Coast. And I was like, so many things are wrong with these statements. Number one, I had an emergency domestic violence restraining order after describing very significant, concerning behavior by him. And then I painstakingly narrated as best I could 3 years of domestic violence that I experienced. I started to dissect it and started writing like what I could remember and the significant things that had happened over the course of the 3-year relationship. And when the first judge got removed and she got brought on, the first thing she did was, without giving any real reason, she removed that domestic violence restraining order without allowing the scheduled trial to happen. She dismissed it and told me, go file your domestic violence restraining order in New Jersey. I was living in California. Why would I go back to New Jersey to file? So from the very beginning, it's been weird. My case doesn't make sense. It lacks logic. And with the little bit of knowledge that I understand about the law right now, it has been, I would say, unlawful. Very unlawful. And extremely, extremely, extremely traumatic. Because this man has been allowed to run wild. This man has been told, you can get away with it. Don't worry. We're not going to hold you accountable. We're actually going to help you. And even though this judge has stepped down, the new judge on my case, I saw her name and I looked her up. And when I saw her picture, I immediately knew who she was. A year prior, I saw a poster of my old judge, Hendrickson, and the new judge on a poster together on LinkedIn. And it was Hendrickson endorsing this judge, who at the time was a prosecutor for the DA. And Hendrickson was endorsing her as this prosecutor was running to be a judge in Santa Clara County. And the irony, to me, I wasn't lost on the irony. And I just decided, try to trust this process. Maybe it's not what I think. Maybe I should just follow the process, follow the law, file the things that I need to file, and we'll see. And I did see. I saw very clearly last week. And what I saw today is put me in a state where I don't feel safe. Like, it's going too far. It's been too far. It went too far a long time ago. But it's really like at the point where it is ridiculously out of hand. And my health, my safety, my freedom. Like, there is no regard whatsoever for that. There is no regard. And this is what's been the most traumatic, is the disregard for a baby's health and safety. There has been no regard for my daughter's health and safety since orders have been made on her behalf at her best interest since she was 2 months old, and she's now 3 years old. And I'm going to say point blank, they have not been in her best interest. They have not been in her best interest at all. And I've had to sit there and I've had to suffer and watch my innocent, beautiful, beautiful little girl suffer needlessly. And now, today, the very same tactics, the very same things that happened when Hendrickson was on my case is happening with this new judge. Any mention of domestic violence that the abuser, the respondent, is responsible for is omitted from the record. Minute orders, findings and orders after hearing, they've been scrubbed free of any language, anything that links the abuser, my abuser, the respondent in this case, scrubbed free of linking him to any kind of domestic violence. This is dangerous. You are messing with people's lives and their safety and their well-being. This is so wrong. I have never been in a situation where I feel so unsafe. And to witness the extreme levels that individuals are taking in order to have a certain outcome, to document a certain narrative in a certain picture on paper, that future judges, future lawyers, future anyone who picks up papers, they are going to have a certain narrative and perspective. And I'm telling you point blank, it's not the truth and it's not accurate. And it is dangerous. It is extremely dangerous. It's a direction, it's an approach that nobody should be going down, and no litigant should have to experience. The way that one of my filings was handled was highly inappropriate. The restraining order hearing was moved up 2 weeks earlier. And I said, well, that doesn't work for me. On top of that, I saw that a new judge was assigned to my case. So I quickly filed the preemptory challenge. On top of that, after I filed that, I filed a motion to continue. And after that, I filed a motion to stay, because the motion to continue had separate arguments for the motion to stay. And the motion to continue was just denied. No reason given, just said good cause. And I was like, this hearing has been moved up. This doesn't work for me. I would like a continuance. And 2, there's a brand new judge on this case. This judge had only been on the case barely 2 weeks, and she is presiding over a domestic violence trial. And this case has been going on for 3 years. It's a complicated case. The hearing should have pushed back. Second, that motion to stay, I filed 2 weeks before the hearing, and I was told the next day by the court clerk they received it and it would be filed, it would be posted. They never posted it. They just held on to it until the day before the hearing. And then instead of denying it based off of my arguments, they denied it because they claimed there are all these issues. Oh, you were missing a case number on one of the pages. And then my emergency motion to stay, they didn't rule on it for 72 hours. And they claimed it was a procedural error. They didn't even rule As a result, last week there was a domestic violence restraining order hearing. I was accused of domestic violence against the abuser and my daughter. This is on my record. I cannot see my daughter for 5 years. And I still have to address a criminal case with the exact same allegations that were used in the domestic violence restraining order hearing. How does that impact my criminal case? Do I even have a fair shot at the end of the day?